Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. It is Monday, the 30th of December. These are the charts of the day. Well, kind of a lousy day on Wall Street, but a lot of stocks we followed did well. I got a bunch of them to show you today, and including some that are not only swing trades, but picks for the year. Starting off with AG, a silver stock that I decided to add. Looks awfully good. I think the long-term pattern is indicative of what's going on in the metals markets. And there's the long-term look. You can see that the base that developed here in 18 and up until May, June 19, when the thing took off from about the 5.5 range, got it up to 11.5, pulled back and then consolidated for about 4 or 5 months. Now it's setting off again. And today was a breakout day of 52 cents or 4.4% on 5.6 million. Now looking for 14.5, 15 zone, and then maybe 17.75 to 18.5, something in that area, but it looks pretty darn good. Independent utility Bloom Energy BE is looking good to me, and the reason I say that is I like to see V bottoms with extended platforms that give you consolidations. Here's a run up from about 250 to about 7 and change, a pullback retesting the 50-day moving average and lateral price support, pop to resistance, form a wedge and break out. I like the look of that. It's a 2-day chart. Let's give you the 1 day. Here you go. It looks looking awfully good in here. Keep an eye on this one because a breakout here, we're going to look at 8 and 9.5 area for starters. CDTX breaking out of a base pattern. CDTX breaks out of a 2-year base or a 1.5-year base anyway, about a year. But the key breakout today, if we got more volume, I'd be much more excited, but I do like the look of it. I like the feel of it. I think the stock has a chance of running into the 4 3/4 and 6.5 range. Up next is NC, a fairly recent IPO that Steve brought my attention to. The base, the breakout after a big drop from post-IPO, is now forming a flag. What I like about this look is an hourly chart. You can see the consolidation flag type pattern. Now technically it actually broke out slightly and is sitting here consolidating. I like the look of that. I think we're headed to 25 and a longer term basis to 27.8. DGII, also one of my picks for the year. Pop, broke out, pulled back, nice orderly pullback. Then another pop retest and pullback, and today reversed and had an engulfing bullish day today. A volume of 600,000, which is big for that stock, up 4%, targeting 22 and 25. EYEG popped and broke out as well. And you can see that there was a lot of resistance in the zone, and there's even more up here by the gap and the spike high. So this is key. We're overbought in that resistance. If we pull back, I can see it. If we don't, momentum could carry this to 21 to 23 zone. INSG, one of my top picks for the year, I believe is going to see 9, 11, and maybe 15, 16 by the end of the year at the way this looks. Right now, the near-term action shows that it popped out, broke out, formed the wedge, and broke out of the wedge today. Onward and upward. ISEE, fantastic momentum. When a stock goes from under $1 to over 8 that quickly, you are certainly vulnerable, but momentum is fantastic. And ISEE might fall apart any moment or might not. Let's put it this way. I'd put a tight stop under 7, 7.25, but let it run. If it does run 9.5, 11.5, and even 14 are potential targets if momentum carries it forward. Kodak broke out of a base as well, KODK. You can see the breakout retest, then a pop and retest of secondary resistance. And then another run to the highs from a year ago. So where are we now? Well, we've broken out of the base. We've had a strong run up. We're at top of the area where that if it breaks out of here, we're looking at a $6.5 and $8 stock. LK continues to look good. It remains a swing, but not a top pick because of the price and because I'm not sure how much further it can go from a percentage standpoint. But I do believe we're going to probably see something in the high 40s in the near term or maybe in the immediate term. MAXR, beautiful long-term base, breakout, breakaway gap, big volume. I'm looking for a move to 2021 and maybe as high as 29.30 over the next few weeks. NEO had a spectacular day, almost historical. 433 million shares. Are you kidding me? Not only closing near the highs for the day, getting up near resistance and key resistance and exploding. Take a look at the 1-minute chart. It's worth noting. When you see a stock that does this, incredible move. This morning pre-market, you were looking at $2.50, and by 1 o'clock it was trading near 5 at 487. Pretty impressive move. And then falling wedge. Well, the falling wedge ended up going in a sideways momentum, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this one come on again, but I did want to tell you that it's at resistance. Secondary targets would be 6 3/4 and 8 1/2. On Oncolytics, Biotech also with a spectacular move. This stock has gone virtually from 35 cents to $4 in the last, or more than 11-fold thereabout, in the last 90 days. So it extended indeed. At resistance, yes. At the top of the channel, yes. Is momentum powerful enough to take this one to 5.5, 6, maybe even as high as 8? Yeah, indeed. But if it spikes up there, exit stage left. OTIC breaks out of a base. Another biotech on the run. And by the way, folks, this is not a good sign. At the tail end of every bull market I've ever seen, biotechs and speculative semiconductors and stocks like that exploded and ran. So we'll see if it's the tail end of a bull market that's causing this run-up. Anyway, in the biotech sector, OTIC broke out of a base. I have resistance and target at 5, 6.5, and 8. Sava, another explosive day for this one. From a start around the 614 range, it went up to 720, and then backed all the way back off to 612. We're still up 91 cents because of the gap. Just be careful about a potential island reversal. If it holds the gap and starts to run up and takes out today's high, 720, we're looking at a $9 stock, maybe even as high as 11. Momentum is fantastic, but it's also vulnerable, as most of these stocks are when they're running like that. See, it exploded on very positive news out of China. Stock literally went $2 from 476 to 670, finished at 576 in the middle. But with that kind of volume that I've never seen before ever in the history of this stock, and it's very thin, I would be shocked to see 7, 7.5 near term. SVRA, talk about a big move today, 188%, 184% on 53 million, with a breakaway move and then a strong surge. Now it did come back at midday, but came on again towards the end of the session. Watch this. So if it ran up sharply and then pulled down and got quiet for 3-4 hours, there's your breakout. We milked that one for the trade at the end of the day, but it went even further, getting up to 6 1/4 and then consolidating, closing at about the 570 range, which is up another 77 cents from where it closed. I wouldn't be shocked to see 6.5 and even 8 tomorrow morning. Keep tabs on this one. It's also overbought. But the momentum on that breakaway gap with that kind of volume can't be denied. VAL, junior energy stock. I think that if the energy stocks move, this is one that might make a more substantial move. And today it took out some resistance and popped 11% on 9 million. So I'm looking for a follow through. We get one. The targets are 8 and 9 3/4. VERU, another stock I noticed today coming out of a big base pattern, something you may want to consider. Take a look at this. The base has been developing since mid-2015. That's 4 years nearly, 3.5 years. And today's pop got it through resistance. My target is near 5. And finally, XNET, which I considered for one of my top picks of the year, and it made my top 50, but not my top 30, because it hadn't broken out of this falling wedge, did so today, jumping 57 cents or 12.4%, 3.1 million. It looks like if we can get this up to this resistance right there at about 540, today's high was 35, then our targets are 7 and 9.5. That's it for me tonight. Have a great evening. This is HB signing off. Let's make some money tomorrow.